Good. Guys, can you hear me? Alright, cool. Fuck. Well, that's, yikes. Yeah. Everything was going good. Shit. That was a kick to the nuts. Okay. Alright, we're all here. We're all back. This is just more of a reminder that I should just get a new PC. Well, that just happened. Yeah, that's a way to describe it. I'm hoping I didn't fuck up too much. Alright. Well, let's run back. There's a good amount of background stuff that I don't want working during this.
Emotional damage!
That's a light way of putting it. That is the light way of putting it. Alright. Let me forcefully close that. Alright. Let's get back to where we were. Sorry about that. Kind of murdered the momentum. Metreon. Okay, it saved right before Mason versus Osprey. So we'll get down to ringside. We're gonna continue where we left off. All right. Get all this back up and running.
It's scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from London, England, weighing in at 191
Actually, it might be better to keep that close.
Will
Already seen the entrances, so we're gonna keep this bit short. Osprey in one corner, Mason in the other. We apologize for that interruption to this match. Apparently the power to the building went out. You wouldn't believe it. Now call an elbow. These two meet each other a bit slower than before. Never mind as a backdrop sets the tone. Moonsault press, wait, straight to the back. He made to restart the match after technical differences. That is true. Do apologize for that once again. I'm currently seeing what I can do. It's just RAM prices are fucking killing me. And I'll be honest, buying a console at this point is a dead-end endeavor. As both men try to collide. That with nothing but air, but Mason striking out with the knees. Rear waist lock elbow from Ospreay to escape it. Now returning the favor, sending Mason right into the stairs. And again, second time. We already said on both sides of the coin, this will be the closest these men have come to trying and to win that title. That D1 title both have been chasing for a bit. Not enough space to roll through. Remember, DKW rules a count of 20, but both men agree to get back in the ring and agree to start swinging it out against each other. And Mason taking the advantage very quickly in that strike fest. Now Mason in the escapes from the corner, springboard, trying to go for something. I think he may have undershot it, for lack of a better term. Kick out one from Ospreay though. And back up to his feet, sweeps the leg from Ospreay. Ospreay heading to the outside rope. Tope Atomico. And springboard moonsault right off the middle. Hooking a far leg now. Ospreay trying to advance to the finals. No. I was going to say earlier, I worry a loss here could do to Mason, given how much he's chased this championship already. Coming this, and if he comes up short again, could be horrible for him. That is a way to counter it. Poison run off of the ropes. There's definitely a way to see it, but every loss from Mason so far, Ospreay fires off a knee. Every match so far has lit a new bit of flame underneath Mason as he's tried to make his way there. I do understand the caution though, to which he could cause a man to burn up, and I can only imagine what Mason might turn to if this shot goes sour like the others. Shot to the left knee. Now Ospreay trying to hit off the ropes. Mason slides, using the ropes to slide under Ospreay, closing the distance after Ospreay missed that springboard, and now telling Ospreay to acknowledge him. Ospreay, not one for taking a knee. Trips on Mason, hooking a far leg here. The ref. Kick out of 2 for Mason. Ospreay hoists him up to his feet. Tucks in the head. Looking, I'm not sure what he was looking for, but he was looking for something. Mason reverses it. Now, trying to gain some more momentum in his corner. Launches. Big splash into the corner. Hits the ropes. Ducks the clothesline. Hits one of his own and keeps right back up to his feet. Look at the far leg. From Mason to Ospreay. Kick out of 2. Stomp on the back. Whisper in the wind from the top. Now Mason, tries to go for that shooting star press. Comes up short. None but knees. Now Ospreay hoists him up. Stormbreaker. Look at a far leg. Gets him just far enough from those ropes. Mason manages to get that shoulder up. Ospreay pressing offense. 2 shots fired. from Ospreay. Back elbow from Mason. Maybe this is what he's looking for. Tries to hit a drop kick. Nothing there. Collar and elbow. Irish whip sends Ospreay to the northeast corner. Elbow from Ospreay to break out. Again, that step-up kick to the head. Thank you for the water, Vaughn. When wrestlers this close to a championship they chase for a long time and they lose, it tends to turn them to the most dangerous versions of themselves. That is true. Question is, what would be a more dangerous version of Mason? Hell, what would be a more dangerous version of Ospreay? Ospreay again from the corner. Mason fighting off the back foot. Can't see this going well. Wait a minute. Mason ducks it, tries to go for a drop kick. Ospreay rolls out of the way. Superman punch connects on the jaw. Caught him right as he was trying to switch sides. Mason now sending Ospreay into the corner. Picks him out. Body slam. Ospreay rocked. Trying to get back up to his feet. Mason out of the corner. Blockbuster from the top. Mason a little bit gassed, but he can't take his foot off the brakes. This soon in the match. Shooting star press from Mason. We got one. That's two. No, but a kick out from Ospreay. Not enough, not yet. The assassin's still in this. Again, Ospreay picking out those legs. Right now, I would say this is do or die. This is overtime for both these men. Flying forearm from Ospreay. Off the ropes, leveling Mason. Ospreay ascending to the top rope. Wait a minute. Leap of faith connects on Mason as he got back up to his feet. Look at a forward leg. Could this be all? And it is. Ospreay advances to the finals over Mason Miles. Getting up may have made it hit harder. You are right. The way Mason's entire upper body collided there. Ospreay's weight pressed almost picture perfect on him. Had opening after opening. You can see it right here. Caught him. Looked like the knees caught him straight to the face on his way down. I do not imagine there was much left in the tank after that shot. And Ospreay would make his way to the finals. A heartbreaking loss for Mason Miles. So close to potentially taking that spot in the finals to compete for that D1 championship. Could have been the closest he could have come, but what ifs don't drive a man to where he needs to get to. GG to both men. Congratulations to Ospreay for his ascension to the finals. He tried to dodge it by getting up, and I think Ospreay saw him get up just before jumping and adjusted. Heartbreaking loss. Ad is just about to start. About 35 seconds. We're going to delay the next match until that's done. Mason's so close to possibly claiming that D1 title. That D1 Dragonheart title. Sorry. It's going to be a quick ad break, and then we'll get right back into the action with our next match. Stay tuned for Hinoka Ryoga versus V. Maybe Mason would need to flip a switch. Just maybe. For everyone who has a Prime sub or just didn't get ads for some reason, thank you for being around. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you for supporting regardless. I am honestly saddened that the PC decided to freeze up there. What sucks about it is that it really could have worked, but it just completely froze the whole thing. So I gotta hurry up and update my rig and actually try to get this thing working. I've been on the market looking for a new PC, but I can imagine how expensive that is. Not only that, but I also have to save up a little bit for classes and stuff like that. My ads was only 30 seconds. Huh. Well, that's new. Well, welcome back. My site says the ad break is still going. So I don't know what the hell happened. But yeah, I was talking about the PC I have. I'm probably gonna get a new one. It's just the cost of one right now is killing me. And I could try to upgrade it bit by bit. I could try. See how well that goes. Wow. Wow. But yeah, I would have to see what parts I can interchange, because I was just gonna scrap the entire thing and get an entirely new one, but cost of RAM is setting me back a fair bit. So maybe if I'm lucky, I can try to, I don't know. Maybe I could try to swap some parts out. Maybe that will help. But I feel like if I get a new graphics card, I'm gonna have to get a new motherboard. And then I would have to get a whole bunch of other stuff, so kind of stuck at this weird impasse where if I replace one part, I might need to replace others. Like, the whole thing would eventually have to change anyways. So, I have to figure that bit out. I'll try to. Yeah, what's going on, Velvet? Say look on eBay, because I saw some deals on there going for 300. Yeah. Got this info from a friend. Let's see what I can find. But welcome back from the ad break, oh you beautiful people. Fifth match on the card. We go from the men's Dragonheart title tournament that now sees its finals with Nathan Mercer taking on Will Ospreay. Not a match I expected to be the finals, but looks like that's what we're gonna come to. And the women's Dragonheart number one contendership tournament reaches its finals. Lady Ignorance going one-on-one with Kobara. Now we shift our gears from the mid-card to the main event scene. Main event scene, I guess. First match. Semifinals of the women's number one world women's championship tournament. I scrambled all of that up. Let me try it again. In the semifinals of the women's world title number one contendership tournament, there we go. Hinoka Ryoga goes one-on-one with V. Both women will end up making their way into the semifinal matches. Hinoka managing to beat one of the Kane sisters in the main event to make it this far. V doing very much the same in her own match. Both these women making it to the semifinal in much similar fashion. Great show of power from both sides. Now you see powerhouses collide.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making her way to the ring from Osaka, Japan, a superstar!
Lord, cannot pronounce anything. Hinoka Ryoga making her way down to the ring. You've seen Hinoka time and time again on DKW. Hang in with matches with some of the hardest hitters on the roster. Solidified herself as a main event star, but not quite as women's world champion, though this number one contendership tournament might be the best shot for her to make it. Made it past the first round. Now on to the semifinals. She can make it past this. The winner of Gene Kelly versus Yuno Arai later tonight will be her opponent in the finals. And the winner of that match will be number one contender for the World Women's Championship, currently held by one Velvet Dove.
And her opponent from Manila, Philippines.
Am I holding some? Am I supposed to hold it? You're holding two titles here. Am I getting in trouble for touching it? No, you won both of them. That sounds wild out of context now that I'm reading that back. All right, well. V making her way to the ring. Making their recent debut on the second episode of this season of DKW. We got was pure, unbridled power from V, managing to put down, I believe, I want to say Onyx. Time to go back and check again. Made her way to the semi-final. Hasn't been around on the roster as long as Hinoka, but there's one person I would say this season that would challenge Hinoka in pure power. It's gotta be V. This bell rings. Both women lock up. A show of strength to start this one out. And Hinoka very quickly pressing V to the corner. Ref pulls her off and a cheap shot. Weaves the second punch, turns her around and a double axe handle to the upper back, already laying her out flat. Hinoka from row springboard tries to go for a crossbody. V sidesteps it. Stomp to the gut, now just walking through it. And now clothesline, knocking Hinoka right off her feet, but Hinoka fires back with a kick between the eyes. Tucks in the head and a suplex. Not a part of DKW, but Hinoka is a former ANW Women's Multiversal Champion, where she had a lengthy reign, so she's not new to being in a championship picture or holding one. True. It is very true. But the amount of time she's had on DKW, can't say she's slouching at any major factor. Can only imagine both women studying tape on each other. Though when it comes to the amount of tape available, I think V might have found... Oh! Super kick to the mouth stalls V. I was gonna say, she might have had a bit more to study, seeing as Hinoka has been on the roster for a long time. When you've been wrestling in a singular place for that long, you develop habits. Those habits readable through the tapes and the matches you've been through if you watch enough of them. But a backbreaker might have shut me up about it. Looks like she tried to throw V over her head, but V, maybe those attacks to the back earlier in the match might have done something. Either that or V was somehow able to hold on to Hinoka, making sure she didn't get thrown. As she seemingly, I don't even know if she collided with it, but it looked like she narrowly missed that turnbuckle. I didn't hear a sound. Hinoka's habit is to beat the shit out of you. All right. And leg sweep, and now just unloading right hands. This DKW ruling count of 20 will be what ends this match. So these two have all the time on the outside. Tries to go for a super kick. Gets caught. Clothesline. Count of 8 already. Almost half the time these women have on the outside to go wild. Stripped away. Now clothesline. Like I said before, DKW ruling. 20 count will be the only thing that ends that match when it comes to timing. Right hand from V. And a German suplex. Loose grip, full release. Hinoka folded over, prodded up on her neck. I can only imagine the damage. Very quickly trying to stop the wave of offense. Count of 15 already. V. Count of 16. Has Hinoka on the back foot. She is not getting up. Is this going to end by a count out? Hinoka gets in the ring right before 20. Goes in for a roll up. Stacks high, but too close to the ropes. Ref's going to call a break. Wonder if we see Ellery and Josh again in DKW this season. I can't count. Big crossbody from Hinoka. I'm honestly not sure. I would have to check. But I know right now IWW TV is... things are happening over there and on AEW. So I would have to check to see. They are coming back. Tries to go for a frog splash. Nothing but knees. Honestly, I imagine with the new faces, the new names, Elliot and Josh would get their money's worth in fights if they were to re-sign for this season. Irish whip sends V north side, and Hinoka closes the gap with a lariat. Bit of jaw jacking. Spawns knee straight to the gut. Now V with the waist in the neck. Sending Hinoka straight into that post. Not sparing any motion. Pure force on display. Back in Hinoka into a metaphorical and very literal corner. V hoists her up above her head. Throws her down. It is very rare you ever see Hinoka pressed up against a dominant force like V. Very rare, yes, not impossible. As right now, Hinoka very much on the back foot. Lateral press. Is that going to be all she wrote? Kick out of 2. Not done yet. Irish whip sends Hinoka west side. But the knee to the ribs is going to stop whatever V was looking for. She's trying to go low with a grab, but right now Hinoka sending her off to the ropes. Pop up. No, V had it scouted, aiming 3 shots straight at the head to stop the powerbomb. Now tried to go for it, but gets thrown over her head. Bruises popping up on both these women's backs. Straight targets of the other. Yamanoka hooks the far leg. Ref slides in. Count of 2. Quick kick out. Not enough to call it. Not enough to move up to the next round. SV again tried to go low. Went right into a super kick by Hinoka. Hinoka measuring. Tries to go for a kick to the gut. Not sure what she was looking for, but V had it scouted. Now, single leg. Boston Crab trying to hitch it. Trying to get Hinoka to tap out. Damage to the back. Might have amounted. Wait a minute. Hinoka refusing, but for how long? No, she's forced to tap. A submission win by a single leg Boston Crab. All the damage done to the back of Hinoka, to the hips, leg, and lower back, forced Hinoka to tap out. As V, from her debut, overcomes her fellow newcomer and a powerhouse to make her way to the finals of the #1 contendership tournament for the Women's World Championship. GG to both women, a hard-fought match, bruising, lining both women's bodies. As for who is going to be the woman that meets Hinoka, or not Hinoka, V, in the finals, that'll be decided by a semifinal match tonight. Gene Kelly goes one-on-one with Yuno Arai. But the next match on the card, the 6th match on the card, Bulldozer Kenji Harada, one-on-one DKW Men's World Heavyweight Title Tournament semi-finals now underway. Bulldozer, a former DKW World Heavyweight Champion in his own right. Kenji Harada just recently making his debut on DKW, already making his name known from the last match he had. Very hard set, heavy striker is Harada. Managed to put the lights out of David Finley. Bulldozer, in a similar fashion, managed to overcome Ioni. Why is my brain blanking out on names? Good God. Last name is Tanaka. For some reason, his first name fucking blanks out. Why? I was on a roll. Why? Everything was working out, and suddenly, nothing. Time to get to work. Been looking forward to this one.
Making his way to the ring from Huntsville, Alabama, weighing in at 245.
That's some words prior to that's some words prior to this match as well. Kenta, thank you. For some reason, my brain just blanked out, and I can only remember his last name. God, I hate it when that happens. Okay, but Bulldozer had these words to say to Harada prior to this match that was supposed to happen last week, but technical issues be technical issues. He had to say, Kenji, I'll admit I was watching your match closely this last, at this point episode. I'll admit what I saw was a lethal striker, a highly dangerous man, one that reminded me strongly of the King of Strong Style himself. However, he's faced and beaten strikers before. I've faced and beaten strikers before. You are every bit as dangerous as you think and claim you are, and I also noticed that you seem to take enjoyment in the pain you inflict. But here's the part where I let you in on a secret. I'm the single greatest technical wrestler of all time. I am more dangerous than I claim to be. And Kenji, you're certainly a dangerous man, and I am much more dangerous and much more than a man. Indeed, I've grown from a man to a god, so it's not your fault if you don't understand what I'm saying to you. You are only a man after all. Alas, I've rambled long enough. Kenji, I know this. In 2 days from now, you will become my version of Sodom. Only, unlike Lot, you're not gonna have the chance to run. See you soon, Kenji.
And his opponent from Osaka, Japan, weighing in at 232 pounds.
Kenji Harada making his way down that ramp. The words from Bulldozer echoing. I can only imagine echoing all through this young man right here. Like I said before, showed us in a hell of a match with David Finlay. A very acute, very honed striking ability. Something not to be trifled with. Bulldozer has faced strikers before, as he said. So I have to say, in this case, both men have never faced each other. This is the first time they would meet one-on-one action. Dark Shogun of DKW taking on the god of professional wrestling. DKW's god of professional wrestling. Both men fighting for a guaranteed world championship match. That is absolutely true. Whoever was to advance from this match would have the winner of Bradley v. Riku, Nakamura v. Ralph. I swapped the last names on that. I want you to know what I meant. Main event. The winner of that match will go on to face the winner of this one with the DKW World title on the line. We could see first-time champions, or we could see a recurring champion. That all depends on this match, whether it's a first time or a second time. We're gonna have to see. Opening with that right hand, Kenji ducks off to the right, now right into the choke. Right into that choke. Kenji Harada in an interesting place to start this match off. Bulldozer immediately going to his technical background to try to hold him in place. Kenji not moving from that, keeping very still. Shows some ability to understand what a submission is. It is pain, but the more you flinch, the more you move in a submission hold like that, the higher chances you're gonna run out of air. So it's very smart that Kenji kept himself still, didn't panic. And Bulldozer firing off in all cylinders. Springboard 450, but missed the mark. Maybe a little bit too quick on his feet. Both men strangely wear blue and gold. That is true. I just noticed that, funny enough. Clothesline from Bulldozer. Maintaining wrist control, drags Harada right back up to his feet. 3 clotheslines. Keeps Harada on the floor. Bulldozer very quick to get back up to his feet. Springboard from the top, forearm. Hits the mark. Now quickly into a cover. He'll get a far leg. Kick out of 1 from Harada. Bulldozer knows what it takes. Oh, to be a DKW World Heavyweight Champion. Goes for another 450. Got caught with nothing but knees. Harada trying to force him to the ropes. Bulldozer breaks it up with a kick to the gut. Playing it smart. Not trying to give Harada too much space. That's an Alabama slam from the Alabama native. Rocks the Dark Shogun. But now a kick. Harada trying to bring it into a familiar base. Striking exactly where he shows his colors. The question is, with the damage he's been inflicted with, will his striking proficiency win out over Bulldozer? Bulldozer, the much more physically imposing man of the two. A little bit of a height advantage, more muscle mass. You can imagine there's more power on Bulldozer's side, as demonstrated by that Alabama slam we saw earlier in the match. And Harada telling Bulldozer, come on, let me see your striking ability, with both men swinging for the fences. Is this wise? Questionable. Is it smart? Not really. But is it working for Harada? Yes, it is. As his striking ability comes out over Bulldozer, and now he wrestles him straight to the floor. A little bit of mind games from Harada. I'm not sure if I would do that with a technical wrestler, but it seems like Harada might have an idea of how exactly to get in Bulldozer's head. Tries to go for a double axe handle. Bulldozer strikes back. Cutter from the heavens! But you already see the bruising on the head and neck. I've never seen someone with that bruise patterns before, but that shows exactly where Harada is striking. Tries to get it for an AA. Harada finds his way down. Gets his feet on the ground and now striking at the lower back of Bulldozer, trying to neutralize that strength advantage. A dangerous spot for Bulldozer to be in. Hoist him up. Body slam. Harada ascending to the middle rope now. Bulldozer on the back foot. You can see the bruising on the face and the neck. That is a unique pattern. Again, I've not seen that before, but that just shows Harada is aiming nothing but important vital spots. He's going for head, he is going for neck, and it shows with that knee. Bombaye on mark. Count of two. But the hand on the rope, ring awareness from DKW's God of Professional Wrestling. Bulldozer, he's been known to take a lot of... Oh, wait a minute. I was going to say he's known to take a lot of offense, but he's going to have to find some way to fight back, and he might have found an opening. Harada maybe getting a little bit too jumpy. Tried to go for that rolling axe kick, and again, trying to lay in strikes. Bulldozer pulls back, catches him. Revelation! I hope that was the revelation. I'm not getting it mixed up. Did I fuck up the call on that? Let me know. I hope I remember that right. Oh! Tried to hit the knees on Harada. Harada moved out of the way. Both men going counter for counter. Sends Harada. It was. Even after all this time, I still remember. Oh my God! Headlock driver sent Harada spiraling. Almost had him do a flip off his head. Fuck. 10 seconds left on the count. Tries to go for a knee. Harada ducks it. Gets him with a side rush and leg sweep. It's like he kicked him in the gut right as Kenji leaped at him. Yup. And now Harada relying back on that strong style. The ref getting very close to 20, already at a count of 14. Both men still striking. If this match does end in a count out or a draw, if it ends in a count out with one man in the ring, that'll be a different thing. Bulldozer. Count of 17 already. Kenji is gonna have to get up and get right back in this ring. Count of 18 already. Slides in before 19. Staggers Bulldozer a bit. Slides off to the side. Kick to the knee. Bulldozer maybe trying to echo Kabara earlier in the night. Tries to go for the roll-up to end the match. Advance to the finals. And he does it. A roll-up to Sami Zayn special to get the God of Professional Wrestling the hell out of danger. Was it flashy? No. Was it a 3 count? No. But was it smart? Well, it was a 3 count. Was it a submission, I meant to say? No. But was it a smart move with an opening that Harada left? Absolutely. Honestly, that is the most, I gotta say, I've seen Bulldozer struggle with someone in a first-time match. Usually these first-time matches, Bulldozer straight in, straight offense. This one definitely on the back foot, the bruising across the face and neck, upper body on clear display. Managed to get that 3 count and solidify himself in the finals. We could have, I believe, his first time with a 2-time DKW World Heavyweight Championship reign, the second reign possible for Bulldozer, but I'm jumping a little bit ahead because this only gets him to the finals. This is a championship match. He is qualified for, but it doesn't mean he walks out with that title. And this is where the next match, or the main event, becomes very important. GG to both men. Harada, a hell of a striker in his own right. I can only imagine he had a former champion on his back foot. If he was able to do that with an experienced former champion, what could he do when he has that title in his grasp? Only time will tell. Bulldozer just calling out, saying that was exactly what he had planned. I wouldn't expect anything else from a previous world champion. I'm missing everything, jeez. To be completely honest, we hit a bit of a crash on my side that split the recording in two. So there's half of the show that is not a part of this, and then there's half the show where we did pick up. But to recap the night before we get into our semi-main event, Logan Williams went one-on-one with Nathan Mercer. Nathan Mercer would make it to the finals of the men's Dragon Heart tournament. Guaranteed match for that Dragon Heart title, but he's got to go through Will Ospreay, who qualified for the final in an upset over Mason Miles. Lady Ignorance would qualify for that final match in the women's Dragon Heart #1 contendership tournament with a win over Lady Crow in a post-match attack. An interesting interaction with Velvet Dove throughout that match. Gonna have to keep an eye on that. Amaya Knight went one-on-one with Kobara. Kobara managing the pin night with the Sami Zayn special, as members of this community are starting to call it. That roll-up. I already mentioned Will Ospreay managing to qualify for that final match over Mason Miles. Hinoka Ryoga would fall to V, qualifying V in that final of the #1 contendership for the women's World Women's Championship. Sorry. And Bulldozer just now would qualify for that match for the final of the men's DKW World Heavyweight Championship tournament. That vacant spot, one of them being filled by Bulldozer, the other will be decided in the main event. Bradley Ralph, Riku Nakamura going at it. These two have already went back and forth with each other. I'm unsure of the exact score. Falcon, I will need to ask you. Falcon, the host of CSW, and I can imagine keeping tabs on one of their most well-known stars. He could probably give us more about their prior matches, the record so far, the back and forths they had. Also, I just realized Bulldozer has been in 3 tournaments in DKW and now has become a finalist in 2 of them. That is true. Hey, actually. Yeah, he has. Huh. I think that one tournament he didn't become the finalist in was 2024's? No, wait. Yeah, no. In 2024's D1 tournament, that was the only time he had not become a finalist. And that was because of a loss to Teddy King at the time. But let me just make some notes. Because while I don't really post the results, I still take notes of them. It helps me remember stuff, writing it down. Now on to the semi-main event. Let me run a quick ad break just to make sure, because we're coming close on the next hour, but I'm not sure if we might get interrupted during this match. There's no real way to tell how far these matches might go or how long they might go. So we're gonna run a quick. Don't want to hear myself. Stop that. Ugh. We don't want to listen to my voice. Can I? Shoot him in phone. I'm not able to do that from my phone. I thought I was able to. That would have been cool if I could. Anyways, let me try to see if I can get an ad going real quick. So make sure these next two matches are uninterrupted. Please stand by for a little bit, because I want to take it easy on my computer, so I'm opening a tab elsewhere. I think Bradley is 1-0 on Bulldozer, I think, and the only time they faced. It's still an interesting situation if Bradley is able to qualify for that final. Damn, they're streaming Drink On already? Huh. Look at that. Yes, Twitch, I'm aware captions are available for my clips. People can use them if they clip. Doesn't take that long to make a clip, funny enough. Alright. We're gonna run a quick 60-second ad break. Just to make sure the next two matches go uninterrupted, please stand by, as we'll be right back. Alright. So, this is gonna be interesting. You know what? Oh, I should have been doing this throughout the night, actually. I should have been doing predictions. I mean, we could do predictions now. Actually, Miles, welcome back. Bradley makes it to the finals, then DKW World Championship is guaranteed to go to the Deadshot Gang. That is absolutely true. This next match will have it go for 5 minutes. Predictions are up for who you believe will be the winner of this next match as we advance to our semi-main event. Gene Kelly would manage to overcome Danny Weaver to make her way to the semifinals. Yuno Arai would overcome Lady Devious, Valentine Devious, the Goliath of a woman, to make her way all the way to this match right here. Lionheart. Coming out first.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making her way to the ring from Bray, County Wicklow, Ireland, Gene Kelly.
I hate how streamers can't, like, I hate how I can't, from my own channel, like, throw in some prediction points. Like, just to counterbalance it a bit, just for some reason it doesn't let me do that. I would have to make a separate account for that, and that sucks. Gene Kelly, recently on IWW TV, tried to cash in that Money in the Bank contract she had. Cash in did not go the best. Had a few, had a way of expressing herself, funnily enough, about that. And GCA held that GCA title for almost a year. Gene looking for her first DKW championship, whether it be really at all. But she's facing, I believe, a multi-time women's world championship.
From Tokyo, Japan.
No, single. Only once. There is one thing I know, and I think you know, I think we know, I think everybody knows, that Yuno Arai has arrived. Former DKW Women's World Champion Yuno Arai held that belt on May 25th, 2023, would hold it until August 31st of that same year, 98 days, which she would first lose it to the current champion, and that current champion's first reign, Velvet Dove. Velvet would take that title off of Yuno, if I remember right, prior to the D1, and would hold it throughout the entire tournament, even defending it. Yuno already knows what it means to be a champion. Defeated Sweet Paw to hold that title. I can only imagine she wants to run that back, that second championship reign within her grasp, but she's got the Lionheart in her way, and Gene already swinging on all cylinders. Some cylinders. And Gene already locking in a Dragon Sleeper. No mercy, going all in with it. Yuno being very careful about her movements. Foot tapping that bottom rope as she tried to escape. Springs off the ropes, tries to go for that kick. Gene getting very close, so she has to overshoot it. And now rear waist lock on the champion. Or on the former champion, sorry. If Yuno were to ever win the Women's Dragonheart Championship, she would then become a DKW Grand Slam champion. That is true. Headlock from Gene Kelly, locked in fierce. As of right now, the only woman to become a DKW Grand Slam champion, two of them, only two. Velvet Dove, as of current, holding both titles, and Anna Marie, who would first hold the D1 title and then have a short span holding both titles. The knee straight to the face. Yuno now trying to mount some offense against the Lionheart. Jean has been a little bit odd on her feet. Bit of a hiatus away from wrestling. She's tried to venture into other brands, but it hasn't really worked out the best. Not the same as when it came to GCA. When it came to GCA, Jean ran through the ONC tournament, I believe the inaugural tournament, ran through every single woman in her way with only one loss in that tournament. Would go on to win the GCA championship, hold it, like I said, for a whole calendar year, and that is a world title. So Jean isn't foreign to the idea of holding a world title. It's not a mystery to her, but at the same time, as of recent, she hasn't had that same spark. The Lion's fangs haven't been as sharp. Meanwhile, Yuno, it's a questionable thing with Yuno. She's held world titles before, if I remember correctly, on KWF not too recently, or not, yeah, recently actually. She held that KWF Women's World Championship, but would end up losing it to the same woman who stopped her first reign, Vesper. Tries to hit her with that recoil kick. Barely grazes off of Kelly. Kelly tries to go for a lariat to close the match. It only gets a count of 2. Rocking a man bun, I see. It is braids tied back. They are not a man bun. Wait a minute, kick to the gut from Yuno. Oh, wait a minute, Yuno! Showing Jean what it's like to go between the lions! Taking her own finisher, using it on Kelly, but a kick out at 2. Yuno, like a chameleon, managing to imitate the signature moves of most of the women she's up against. This last episode, which match was my con? Last episode was episode 2. That was the match was that. Jean ascends to the top. We're gonna hit a drop kick. Nails it. Last episode we had was Damian Havoc versus Nathan Mercer, if I remember right. Last week, I lost power in my place, so we couldn't host the episode then. This is the episode that was supposed to happen last week. As Jean tries to go for a senton, misses the mark. Big wind up for that lariat, but Jean springs right back up to her feet as Yuno hits a famouser to keep her down. Wanted to bait Jean in, and she got it, but another kick out of 2. Yuno fired off her best shots, tries to go for the split. Jean finds her way out of it. Jean probably had a lot of studying to do on Yuno's tapes when she was still world champion. I'd imagine with that year-long reign, same can be said inversely for Yuno Arai. If she did any studying, it had to be those tapes of Jean Kelly when she was in GCA, when she was on IWW TV, when she was on MEW. As now she tries to go for a scissor kick, gets blocked by Jean. Back elbow gets blocked by Yuno. And now a shot to the lower back. Yuno taking over the match. Refs trying to tell him to get back in the ring, but they have until a count of 20. Kick to the gut. Is this a pop handle? Yes, it is. Shades of Weaver. Though I imagine with the current relationship between Jean Kelly and Danny Weaver, I cannot imagine those two seeing eye to eye. I'd imagine Jean probably looking to change the name of that move. Both women not the best of relationships. Hell of a lariat. Thinking of calling that the Lion's Line. Count of 2. And Jean Kelly advances to the finals. Knocking Yuno out cold. That hard end lariat, that same clothesline that led her to championship gold. She tried to get it there, but you could see Yuno stopping her just short with that kick. Second time, she couldn't stop it. You know, she has to be upset about that brain imploding loss. Oy vey, the puns.
Here is your winner,
The winner of this match, don't go goober on me. You know what you did. Winner of this match, Gene Kelly, locks in her spot in the finals. V versus Kelly. This could be her chance to get her hands on the DKW World Women's Championship. But that is just for the number one contendership on the women's side. Whoever wins that finals match will still have to go one-on-one with the current women's world champion, Velvet Dove. Now we have Jean versus V for the right to face Velvet. That is absolutely correct. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the main event. A little bit, I'm gonna say, of a buffer. No, I'm scared. I mean, you managed to win both those titles. I can only imagine. Note this down. A little bit of a buffer for this match. Bradley Ralph versus Riku Nakamura. Not the first time these two men have faced off. Though I am not 100% clear on the record between the two, I do know how they found themselves in this predicament. Bradley Ralph would debut on episode 1 of this season of DKW, very quickly taking the fight to Ilya Dragunov, a well-known hard striker and a nasty competitor to go one-on-one with. Managed to get the win over Dragunov to essentially move up the bracket to be locked in with this match the following week, the 26th of June. Riku Nakamura would make his DKW debut. Prior to signing with DKW, Nakamura would win a gauntlet match to get himself signed. In his debut, carried that momentum straight through it. Went one-on-one with Mountain Lax in one of the most... Well, the only way I can describe this match for my Big E lovers. Two big, meaty men smacking meat. Went straight for it. Nakamura would leave that continent-shifting battle with the win, guaranteeing himself in this smacking the meats. Just spend it all the time, smacking meats. Hey, you know what I meant. You have to imagine this match has a lot between the two men. I do recall them going one-on-one. God damn it, Red. It's Ralph in time, Tigersaurus. The Bulldogs are already taking a seat in the skybox. We can see him up there, watching on. You would have to imagine that this match, it's either going to be his Deadshot Gang brother facing him in the finals for that world title, or it's gonna be Nakamura. Let's get down to ringside. Gonna take a little bit. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, your main event tonight. The semifinals for the DKW World Heavyweight Championship Tournament. Introducing first,
The following is scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, weighing in at 228 pounds, Ultimate Tiger, Bradley Ralph.
Hamilton's own Bradley Ralph, the Ultimate Tiger, for a reason, if I do remember right. Ladies and gentlemen, this man you see walking into the ring is a 12-time world champion. So world titles, not foreign to Mr. Ralph. As he makes his way down to the ring. No stranger to the match he's in, no stranger to the stakes, no stranger to the importance of what this tournament means for him to make his debut and go straight to the world title. It's a straight path, but a very steep and slippery slope. One mistake is all it takes to go home with nothing and keep it at 12. But he would have to get past not foreign or born. Yup. Maybe he can make it 13. But he has one person he has to get through first. Ladies and gentlemen, that right there is a Nakamura.
And his opponent from another time, weighing in at 241 pounds, Ruth.
Ladies and gentlemen, Riku Nakamura making his way down to the ring. Riku, no stranger to world title gold. Held, if I remember right, I think still holds. Yep, still holds the MCW World Heavyweight Champion over in his home promotion. That is a big man. That is absolutely true. Yo, what's up? What's going on, Scurvy? Very dangerous man in his own right. Son of Scarlett Nakamura, Miss Triple Belt herself. 3 world titles around her waist. Riku trying to follow in her steps. Try to become a double world champion in his own right. He has the Ultimate Tiger to get through, and if he does, well, we'll get there when we get there. Ref rings the bell, and here we go. Both men collar and elbow. And Ralph already pushing Riku off into a clothesline, showing, oh, a bit of a strength advantage. Lower hips definitely will help him get the advantage when it comes to push and shove. Slinging off the ropes into a coffin drop, and now trying to go for a hidden blade. Maybe kept his foot on the gas a little bit too quick. Step to the side, tried to hit a forearm, came up short. Riku trying to mount some offense, but Bradley staying on him, not letting him breathe right now. This is the second match between the two. I did want to ask you, Falcon, what is the current standing between these two men? Transitions from over the shoulders to a Blue Thunder bomb. Right now has Riku on the back foot. So now again, Ralph eyeing Nakamura from the corner, hits the hidden blade this time. Looks like he eats steak for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is a big boy. And another coffin drop from Bradley to Nakamura. Now hoisting Riku up on the shoulders, but Riku quickly gets down, attacking the base of Bradley Ralph. Trying to slow the assault by targeting the legs. It makes sense. It makes sense that you would try to go for the legs of someone who's zippy, moves around. Bradley very much using his speed to try to get the upper hand on Riku, but now it's in Riku's corner. The question is that strength gonna hold up when Bradley Ralph can pop out like that? Oh shit, and I didn't get predictions going. Whoops. Hold on. Future shock. Count of 2. Kick out from Nakamura. One of the 2 W's Riku has over Bradley's because the world-destroying alien abducted him before the 2 got mugged by the hooligan outside. That is true. Recently, if I remember correctly, it was a fatal 4-way. Bradley dragged out by Farrell. Nope, Farrell. Sorry. The Blue Alien Buster, Blue Planet Buster, and the Ultimate Tiger have their own bit of beef. Ralph means it. If Ralph wins, it means the only new opponent for him this entire tournament will be Dragunov in round 1. That is true. Now both men swinging for the fences. Let me see if I can get this up. If I messed up the spelling, I do apologize. It's both men going back and forth. 2 minutes on this prediction. Take your call on who ascends to the finals as both men start swinging. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. There's no way an ad break just went down, did it? It did. An ad break just went down. Are you serious? Who the fuck are you people? Welcome in, Scurvy. We know all about you. I literally just did an ad break earlier. Does it have to be a 3-hour one to... Does it have to be a 3-hour one? Not 3-hour, 3-minute ad to get the hour free? Fuck. More time to get your bets in. Let me know when you guys are back from ads. That is just annoying. It's wild. Ain't no fucking way. There's actually someone with the name HM Gooner. HMO Gooner on fucking Pokemon Go. That's crazy. Back Freedom. Welcome back from ad break. I do apologize for that. I thought the 1-minute ad would be enough. Turns out it was not. So that interrupted the flow. I hear. Why does that summon you like a fucking chant from the Necronomicon? What happened? Free. Everyone's good. Everyone's back. All right. Main event continues. Ralph right now taking it to Nakamura. A kick to stop Ralph in his tracks. Forearm from Bradley. Tries going for a flying forearm. Nakamura reverses. Sends Bradley to the southeast corner. Hoists him up. Body slam. Riku right now taking control. Bradley right back up to his feet though. Tries to cut Nakamura off. Hits the turnbuckle instead. And Nakamura comes down with the axe handle. Yeah. I hate how my English flubs itself. Nakamura hoisting up. Ralph! From a seated position, blood already getting into the eyes of Riku. Count of 2, no, kick out. Not enough to put down the Ultimate Tiger. The crowd already chanting, "We're not worthy," turned into Skeletor. Honestly, I just got frustrated. My brain was like, make a sound. Reset. Oh my god! That's Nakamura! Riku gets right up to that top turnbuckle. A Hurricane Rana straight from the top. Ralph down to a knee and now a big boot from Nakamura runs into the Ultimate Tiger. give up just a long time ago. F them. That's what they get. As now trying to go for a power bomb. Bradley breaks out of it. 3 shots to the head. Tries to go for that call of the wild. Nakamura swats him to the side. Nakamura wise to see that coming. The previous matches he's had with Bradley mounting up, but it looks like blood in the eyes may have caused Nakamura to miscalculate where he was going with that axe handle. Manages to come in with that shoulder tackle. Both these men going back and forth. Big a boot straight to the gut of Nakamura as Bradley now takes over Riku. Hook at a far leg, trying to get it for the cover. Counter 2. Almost a 3, but a kick out from Riku. Both men experienced world champions. Oh, the coffin drop came up short. Spear from Nakamura. Spear from Riku. Looking to end this match the same way he did against Lax, and he gets it. Riku Nakamura! That miss with the coffin drop gave both men, as Bradley tried to get back up to his feet, that split second. Riku got up to hit the spear, trapped Bradley straight in the corner, and that's what allowed the young man to make his way to his first shot at the DKW World Heavyweight Championship. You can see it right there, clear as day. Speared like Bradley owed him rent. What the fuck? A hell of a hard-fought match by both men. A brutal exchange. Bruises lining both men's bodies. Until only one man was left standing. Now and now we got our finals for the World Heavyweight Tournament. A hell of a showing by Bradley Ralph. His first round match, and even in this one, did not go quietly into that good night. He had to be put down by that freakish spear to actually advance. For Riku to advance in the tournament. That right there, I have to say, that's what the wait, what the hell? Bulldozer not sparing any time, just traps Nakamura. He's holding him into the siren song. He's not letting go. He's not letting go. Security trying to run down to the ring, trying to separate the two. Bulldozer just refusing. He's just holding him. He's just holding him there. He's not letting go. Security trying to surround the two, trying to split the two men up, but still, for some reason, Bulldozer irate at the result. Maybe not. I don't even know. Now, finally, Bulldozer goes. Nakamura is flat on the outside, and Bradley just shoving Bulldozer. Shouting straight to his brother. What in the Bulldozer was waiting on the sidelines to see the result of this match, and instead of waiting till next week, decided, fuck it, I might as well get the drop on him now. Now Ralph Even with the damage he took trying to cart Bulldozer to the back, telling him wait till wait till the final. It's like the stakes of that match already set up. Couldn't wait till next week, decided if it's not gonna be his brother, it's gonna be his victim. Last act. On display by Bradley, at least trying to get Bulldozer to the back. Trying to maintain order, even in loss. The Ultimate Tiger doesn't keep his head down. Now Riku's slowly getting up to his feet. Following that attack. He's able to walk on his own. Crowd giving the young man a standing ovation as he makes his way to the back. You're a winner of this match, and the man advancing to the final to face Bulldozer for that DKW World Championship, World Heavyweight Championship. Be Riku Nakamura. Once again, congratulations to the young man. That I can only imagine. Bulldozer definitively irate about the result. Ladies and gentlemen, that was our main event. Oh boy. Crazy way to end the night. You're telling me. Match set for next week at the least. I can imagine some people at least packing up. Oh. Well, next week we have our final set. Changing gears, we have our final set for next week. Look over to the server. Let me pull up tournament brackets. In the final, the men's D1, the men's Dragonheart tournament. You have Will Ospreay going one-on-one with Nathan Mercer to decide who gets to call themselves the interim, not even the interim, the new Dragonheart champion. On the women's Dragonheart side, Kabara goes one-on-one with Ignorance in the final to decide the number one contender to Velvet's Dragonheart championship. In the men's side, we just saw the main event. Riku Nakamura, Bradley Ralph. Riku would advance in the tournament to claim that final spot, going one-on-one with Bulldozer, what led to the that attack from both men, or from Bulldozer to Riku. That match taking on less of a sportsman-like air to it, and now just taking on straight vengeance. In the women's World Heavyweight Championship number one contender tournament, I said heavyweight again, women's World Championship tournament, contendership tournament, fuck. Gene Kelly would advance to go one-on-one with V. The Lionheart could claim her first DKW title, or V could debut and show out the entire tournament. There's really one way to find out. Thank you all for joining. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here, generally. I hope to have this last week, though the weather and the storm apparently knocked out some It knocked out the power and made it pretty hard to actually make things work. Made it very difficult to get things to work on my side. So we had to make up this week for it, and we had to... What? Wait, what? Wait, what are you talking about? What do you mean? We just got him separated. What do you mean? The fuck do you mean they're going at it? Hold on. Get me a camera or something. Hold on. The hell's going on? You said they just left the building. What the fuck are you talking? Hold on. Both men. Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding. You gotta be kidding. Can we get somebody back there? We need to get somebody. If we don't, there's gonna be nothing left. Both men just brawling it out in the backstage area. What the hell? And now just a chair shot. Both these two are just swinging. It's an MCW star, MCW talent runs fades as often as they breathe. It's like Riku managed to staunch the bleeding to his own head and now just not content with what just happened in the ring after his match. What do you mean there's no one around? I saw somebody going through there. The hell do you mean they're getting blocked? Blocked off by who? Oh my god. Now these two just brawling on the outside. People need anger management classes. You're telling me. You're telling me we're supposed to keep this stuff to the ring. We're supposed to keep this stuff to the ring. For the love of God, can I get someone out? That boy just tried to control the blood in this man's body. Can we please get somebody back there? The boy is trying to use blood magic. We need someone out there, please. Okay, we got someone. Yeah, we got someone. Okay. How long? 2 minutes. I don't think there'll be anything left in 2 minutes. For the love of God. We need someone down there now, not in 2 minutes. Sorry, I tried to stop, but he's stressed about providing for the family. Lord, this match is just gonna be Family Matters! It's both men just colliding with a concrete floor. Now they're just brawling for the sake of it. Do we actually have somebody? Okay, security guards are getting there. Good God, please. And again with a shoulder. Okay, we actually have someone arriving on the scene. We actually, okay, they're splitting them up. Fucking hell. Oh, this was supposed to just be a match for the title. What do you fuck do you mean? They're just swinging. Apparently a switch got flipped in both men. And they just don't want to wait till next week. Okay. Fuck. Okay, after a match like that, I'm not sure if we could just have a regular one. Thankfully, both men get splitting up by an actual security team. Took a while. Thankfully, they're getting split up. Good lord. World title picture turning into a little bit more chaotic than I thought. I thought the tournament would keep it to simply a one-on-one throughout, but I guess things had to get personal in the last round. That's gonna have to be it for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us for today's show. Let me go see if I can find someone to raid. Splitting up like a divorced couple, nothing but fighting. If there was an amount of true that statement had in it, it could fill the Mariana Trench. Managing to split up both men. Well, if there's anything DKW has to give, I don't want to hear myself. It's competition, and those two have it in droves. Main event next week. Riku Nakamura, Bulldozer, God of Professional Wrestling, Death Killing Wrestling, DKW. I guess that's our nickname now. God of Professional Wrestling versus the only nickname that comes to mind is the Blood Demigod? Would that be an appropriate nickname for Riku? Demigod of Blood. I tried to get Potos to calm down, but something inside him just went off in the skybox during the main event. The Blood Prince? Alright, I'll note that one down. Blood Prince. He started muttering about needing to provide. I haven't seen him like this in years. Can only imagine this is gonna get a little bit more chaotic as we make our way to the next main event next week. Ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna do it for tonight. I'm not sure if anybody else is gonna be streaming tonight. Actually, Vaughn, how long until you're good to go, or are you still, or are you not doing anything tonight? I don't know. Let me know if my brain just left the room. 24 hours. Ah, my brain did leave the room. My bad. My bad. I do know his Bulldozer is most dangerous when he's like this, because he starts to take after 09 Orton. That is extremely concerning. Extremely concerning. That said, we're gonna end the show here. I don't have anybody really to raid. It's gonna do random stuff, but uber tired, especially after updating status. That's fair, dude. Get your rest. Get your rest, brother. But with that, we're gonna end. We're gonna end tonight's show right here. As the matches for tonight, we have our finalists listed out. We have the finals set in stone. What will be happening next week? Currently making my lady for DKW. Hell yeah. Let me know when you got everything set. A little bit of popping in and out. You have been doing that, so I'm not gonna try you too hard on that. You'll be a part of the roster in no time. In the finals, like I said before, the men's D1 tournament, Will Ospreay, Nathan Mercer, 1-on-1 for the Dragonheart title. Kobara and Lady Ignorance go 1-on-1 for the #1 contendership and a chance to face Velvet Dove for that women's Dragonheart title. Bradley Ralph and Riku Nakamura and Bulldozer go one-on-one for that DKW World Heavyweight Championship. Gene Kelly and V go one-on-one for that chance to face Velvet for the World Heavyweight Championship. Title implications abound on the next episode of DKW, episode 4. Keep an eye out. The match card will be up, and the next card will be a little bit longer as we are found our way to tournament finals and things of that sort. I'm gonna see if I can try to work on some stuff. No promises, because I am not the best at making stuff work, but I will try. But once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in to DKW episode 3. This was supposed to happen last week, but we're glad we got to make it happen today. Sackety, thank you for the raid from earlier. Falcon, thank you for the 3-stream streak. As we will see each one of you beautiful people in the next one. Looks like the match between Riku Nakamura and Bulldozer gains some new personal implications. I can only imagine the hell both men will put themselves through to get the win there. Multiple matches on the next card. Some fallout from the tournament. Maybe some people working their way back up through the ranks. Only one way to find out. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see each one of you beautiful people in the next one. Thursday, 7 p.m., we are starting Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 3. Next week, more DKW. Keep it locked. Sayonara.